Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And if you are a recurring viewer, then thank you so much for joining me again for this video. I'm so glad you were here. So today I have a tag video to do. This is an original tag. It's a very new tag. I think it's only just a couple days old. This is the Extraordinarily Average book tag created by David Wiley. And I was very kindly tagged by Steve Donahue. I will leave a link to Steve's video and a link to David's original video. If you do not already follow Steve Donahue and David Wiley, please take a moment, go check out their channels, give them a subscribe if you are not already subscribed to them. They both have excellent channels here on Booktube. They are two of the best booktubers that I could ever recommend to someone. Absolutely fantastic. This is a super fun tag, the Extraordinarily Average book tag, sort of questions all rooted in things that are perceived as average or viewed as average that you personally find to be extraordinary, which is something I love. I personally love the little things, so I'm really excited for this tag. I have the questions pulled up on my laptop, so if I'm glancing down, that's why. And then if there's a weird glare on the screen or in my glasses, I am sorry about that. I tried to turn the brightness down to cut away the glare, but I couldn't completely eliminate it. So hopefully it's not too distracting. So question number one is, what is a book that is viewed as average, but you felt was extraordinary? I will admit up front, I struggled a little bit with these questions, and I did decide to pre-read the questions and sort of mull over my answers. Sometimes with tags, I like to just sort of be a little bit more spontaneous with my answering, but for this tag, because I really like this tag a lot, I like the questions, I wanted to give it some thought. And so the first two questions specifically, I struggled with forming an answer to. So question number one, again, is what is a book that is viewed as average but you felt was extraordinary? And what I kept getting hung up on was, in this case, the definition of average, meaning a book that people view as being subpar to other books or not talked about, sort of dead and not discussed anymore. So I decided to take it as meaning a book that sort of has fallen away from consciousness. People don't seem to talk about it anymore. And the book that I decided to go for is The Rhetoric of History by Savoy Laughtonville, and I do hope that I'm saying his name correctly. This is an absolutely fantastic book that I have really never seen talked about anywhere. On Goodreads, it only has, I believe, 3 reviews, and my review is one of them, and so it seems to sort of have slipped through the greats somehow. And this was originally published in 1968, and it is a book all about how to write history and the approach to take when writing about an historical event. I cannot speak to save my life today. It's absolutely fantastic. I read this about 2 or 3 years ago, and it taught me a lot about not just writing when writing about history, but when reading historical nonfiction. For me, it taught me sort of what to look for, how to see what techniques the author was employing. This is absolutely fantastic, and definitely one that I feel has sort of fallen out of attention, but definitely deserves sort of to come back a little bit into that limelight. The next question number 2, is who is an author who's viewed as average but you felt was extraordinary? And so again, here with question 2 is sort of, I had the same struggle that I had with question 1 of trying to figure out what my definition of perceived as average would be. And so I decided to go with sort of similar to question 1, an author who doesn't have the amount of respect or the amount of media talking about them as I think that author deserves, given their quality of work. And I decided to go with Helen Rappaport. Helen Rappaport is one of my all-time favorite authors and historians. Her focus is Russian history, specifically the Romanov family, and her work is absolutely extraordinary. Every book that I have read by her, I have not read all of her books yet. I still have 2 that I'm needing to read. But out of all of the others that I have read, I have been equally impressed every single time. Sort of the feeling you have when you finish a book of there's no way that her next book can be any better than this one, and it always impresses me that each book she comes with equal ferocity and elegance and eloquence, and it knocks it out of the park every time. And so I feel that she is not talked about nearly as much as she should be for the quality of work that she puts out into the world. And this is the Romanov sisters. This is probably my most favorite of her books, but it may be Cotton Revolution to be my favorite, but this is definitely one of my favorites, just for the sheer the intimate portrait that she portrays, that she delivers of the Romanovs as, you know, fully fleshed individuals, fully and not just sort of you know, historical figures that are held in, you know, in respect, but shown as the humanity that they had. So Helen Rappaport is my answer for question 2. Question number 3 is, who is a musician or band whose music is considered average but you felt was extraordinary? So kind of right off the bat here, I am not super up to date on music. I listen to a lot of older music, which probably isn't a shocker. Most of the media I consume is old. I'm not super big on keeping up with pop culture. But my answer for this is a small folk singer-songwriter band based out of Nashville, Tennessee, called Hush Kids. I believe they have been formed since 2010 or 2011. It's a duo, and they do some absolutely beautiful singer-songwriter, folk, acoustic style music, and I love their songs. Very mellow, slightly bordering on melancholy, which is sort of what I prefer in music. I like sad music. And I feel that they are not, they're not covered very much at all, and I have trouble finding their music on YouTube, you know, finding performances. They have a very small presence out in the media, but anytime I hear one of their songs, I absolutely love them. So that'll be my answer for question 3. Question 4 is, what is a TV show or a movie that is considered average but you felt was extraordinary? And again, to go sort of to tag on to question number 3, I'm the last person on the planet that you want to ask about when talking about TV or movies, because I am sorely, I'm not well versed at all. I'll just put it that way in TV or movies. I do watch movies, I do watch TV, but not a whole lot, so I may not have great answers for these. But a movie that comes to my mind that I feel that has sort of dropped off of you know, being talked about is Kenneth Branagh's Henry V, which I believe came out in the mid-1980s, and it's Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson, I'm forgetting a couple of the other cast members, or Derek Jacobi, and a few others. It's a top of the line cast, and it's an absolutely exceptional performance of Henry V. I love that movie, and I feel that it's really not talked about very much. Obviously, it's a bit of an older film, but it's one for me that I find exceptional. Question number 5 is, what is a Booktube channel whose subscriber count is average but you feel is extraordinary? And there are absolutely so many YouTube channels that I want to give a shout out to, but I will just sort of pare it down to one. And for me, that would be Michael over at Michael Romeo Talks Books. His channel is about the same age as mine, as we started around the same time, and he has some absolutely wonderful content, fantastic videos. I love his passion and the way he talks about what he reads. He reads a lot and discusses a lot, primarily about 20th century classics, 20th century English classics, and he has incredible insights. He does a lot with poetry, with a lot of poetry readings, which I think is absolutely wonderful, because there's not a lot of poetry reading done on Booktube, and he is one of the channels that consistently puts out poetry content, which I think is absolutely wonderful. And so if you are not familiar with Michael Romeo Talks Books, I will leave a link to his channel down below as well, and please do go check out his channel and give him a like and a subscribe. Question number 6 is, what is the skill you are average at, but you would like to become extraordinary? There are a lot of skills that I would like to become extraordinary at. I would say probably right now the main one that comes to mind is guitar. I play guitar. I don't play as much as I used to, but in my mind, if I could have any skill overnight, it would be to be able to play guitar effortlessly, whatever song, whatever style, and just be able to have, you know, a complete knowledge base of everything I would ever need to know. I think that would be a wonderful skill to wake up to. Question number 7 is, you find a time machine that will take you back in time for a day, but the day you select must be an average day. Where would you go, and what would you do to make the trip extraordinary? And I absolutely love this question. I think this is a phenomenal question. If I had a time machine that was capable of this feat, I would certainly do it as much as I possibly could. For me, I think that if I, to go back to an average day, a couple of summers ago, I believe it was maybe 4 years ago now, my family took a pretty lengthy trip to the west of the United States. We went all the way down from where we live in South Carolina down to Texas, and then all the way up to Yellowstone National Park, and then back sort of in this big triangle. And I would take any day from that trip back. My favorite highlights from that trip would be the long extended driving time between states, when you're just sort of driving through great empty expanses, listening to music, singing, reading. We would read aloud. Just going back to a day full of hanging out with my family, joking around, singing, reading, sort of being just lost in an endless landscape of just beautiful mountain ranges and trees and open skies, and just the overall sense of calm that sort of hung over all of that. That is a day that I would want to go back to. Question number 8 is, you win a week's vacation, but all of the popular travel spots are all booked up. Where would you go, and what would you do to make the trip extraordinary? I think in this case, if I won a week somewhere, I would probably rent a small house or a small cabin up in Vermont or New Hampshire, and I would bring a giant duffel bag of books with me, and I would sit outside by a fire and I would read. And I would do that for 7 days and be positively contented the entire time. That would be absolutely fantastic. Question number 9 is, tag some extraordinary channels. So I have quite a few people that I want to tag. I mean, there are so many extraordinary channels, but the ones that I am going to tag are Ann Novella, Michael at Michael Romeo Talks Books, Ryan at Book Time with Ryan, Kim from Middle of the Book March, Aaron Facer, and Ollie from Criminale. I would absolutely love to see, if you guys want to do this tag, I would absolutely love to hear your questions. This is a fantastic tag. And David, if you are watching this, thank you for creating this tag. I love it. I think the questions are so interesting. Tags like this that sort of dig a little bit deeper, even past reading, but more into the lives and sort of the experiences of the booktuber, I think are just such a joy to watch. So thank you so much for coming up with this, and thank you for watching. That is it for today. I really appreciate it. If you would like to leave a comment down below, please do so, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, and happy reading.